And that's why I call her AR-15.
Angela Rye, can I get an amen?
What am I amening, Chris?
Anything. And I'll take an amen on anything. The notion that the setting of the date, 24 hours after the testimony, before the testimony has been had, is not just what Chairman Grassley says, which is us following the normal course. It's following the course of their consideration, which is what they want, to get him through, not get to the truth.
Yeah, I think the real challenge that they have here is Republicans have demonstrated a pattern and practice of not caring about women and not demonstrating any policy agenda that is supportive of women, pay practices that are supportive of women, and overwhelmingly, and I think this is a bipartisan, in fact, a nonpartisan issue, women being treated as objects, as toys. So the very fact that whether or not they call Mark Judge as a character witness, I'll call him forth now and just say, if you just look at Mark Judge's Facebook posts about women, they are clearly chattel to him. And so I think that is the real issue Republicans have. They have decided and made a calculated consideration here that we are willing to potentially forsake the midterm election results, potentially lose the Senate majority, because we'll have a lifetime appointment with this particular Supreme Court nominee. I think what makes matters worse is there are some Democrats who have demonstrated fecklessness, and that is John Tester, that is Bill Nelson of Florida, that is Doug Jones of Alabama, and that is Joe Manchin of West Virginia. West Virginia and Montana I can understand a little bit. I have no idea why Doug Jones, who was elected by 98% of black women, Doug Jones, the same question I asked you on that panel just a week and a half ago. And I also don't understand Bill Nelson, who has to ride Andrew Gillum's coattails into victory in Florida during this general election. Why would he make this decision? Republican light is not acceptable. You have to be all blue everything in order to really win, and I think they're going to struggle with this.
All right, there's a lot there for you to unpack, Mike Shields. How do you want to deal with it?
Well, first of all, because I don't understand why this is such a big deal that they scheduled a vote. Anyone who understands the Senate knows you can also move a vote. You can also lose a vote.
Fair point.
And so they scheduled a vote because the Democrats have been pretty open and clear that their entire tactic is to delay. And so they're saying, look, we are respecting this process. We're actually having a hearing. We even moved the hearing. We even invited the person to have a hearing and then delayed it so we could have a hearing. But Chris, let's have an intellectually honest conversation here. What this is about on the left is that they are pro-choice, the largest base of the Democratic Party, the most active and now becoming borderline militant base of the Democratic Party, are pro-choice activists. They are demanding that Democrats create a circus. They are demanding that they delay. During the hearing for Judge Kavanaugh, they were not interested. They've already made all their minds up. I mean, there's at least 45 Democrats that are 100% no before Kavanaugh was even announced by the president, and they said so.
One qualification.
And so the idea that let's not have the vote because we want to hear the testimony. This entire thing is about partisan politics.
Well, I'll give you that.
I'll
give you that. The whole thing is about partisan politics. That is true, full stop. These processes that we call the confirmation process are a sham. They are not about disclosure. They're about non-disclosure. Both sides play the game with nominees as they get their turn. All accepted and stipulated too. However, if we want to be intellectually honest, there's one addendum to what you said, Shields. This, for the left, is all about not voting for him. Yes, they disagree with his jurisprudence.
Right.
They disagree with where he's coming from.
So this isn't about victims. This isn't about Me Too. This is about stopping someone they disagree with.
Hold on.
That's what this is about.
No, hold on. Now I take it to you, Angela, because here's the addendum. That's not all it's about. That was before the allegations came up. They were against him
the deputy chair of the DNC being thrown out by the Democrats, who is accused of sexually assaulting someone who's running for Attorney General of Minnesota? Democrats don't want to talk about that. But now it's all about the women and all about the victims.
But hold on a second. Mike, you cannot deflect. I hear you on Ellison. We're trying to get his accuser on the show. I don't hide. I can't force people on the show. So here's the thing. I shy away from nothing. But you can't shy away from what's happening at the hearing by deflecting to some other allegation. That's not fair.
He's like,
Angela Rye,
they sexually assaulted too.
That's right.
It's like, that's ridiculous.
That's right.
I'm asking the Democrats what really matters to them.
That's cheap tit for tat, but Ellison should be investigated, and they say it's ongoing. But that has nothing to do with this hearing. Angela Rye, don't the allegations stand apart from just the discussion about jurisprudence?
Not only do they stand apart, there's now a second and potentially a third accuser. So here's the other issue that we have. If the Yale law professor who taught Judge Kavanaugh is saying this deserves an investigation, if there are 3 of his classmates who are saying this deserves an investigation, what is the harm in really playing this out to seeing if this is accurate? I don't have any issue with someone saying, you know what, we looked all through this, we can't find anything, this woman made it up. You're not even allowing that to take place. And so I'm saying the benefit of the doubt should be given to her, particularly with the record that Republicans have on women's issues. You just called women having the right to choose and reproductive rights militant. I mean, if that's militant, you know, I mean, come on. You can't.
What I'm saying is that there are militant activists in your party that are demanding that these Democratic senators act this way or they will get primaried. And you just watch what happens
and you know
in the
what? They're
presidential
going to get primaried.
contest.
And so there are going to be women in your party who primary the cowards who will not allow this woman to have her day before.
Well, now you're almost agreeing with me. You're pointing out that what this is not about a victim. There's going to be a hearing.
No, it is absolutely about the victims.
Not.
I'm saying, and it's also about an investigation that you all would not allow to take place. And I know, Mike, you're one of the reasonable ones. I know you all see. Finally, Donald Trump is doing something for conservatives that you like. But that does not mean that a process where you have the opportunity to highlight an issue of sexual harassment and assault by this man should not be addressed. The fact that 27 years after Anita Hill, the Senate still does not have protocol and procedures in place for handling sexual harassment is something that should give them pause and make them press pause on a vote.
Chris? Now aren't we deflecting? Now we're talking about Senate protocol.
Angela, let him get in.
This is exactly what
Angela,
it's about.
let him get in. Mike, go ahead.
Look, Brian Fallon, Hillary Clinton's comms director, who's now running a super PAC that is dedicated to stopping Judge Kavanaugh, told the truth. He was actually intellectually honest. He said, here's what our mission is. Stop Judge Kavanaugh by any means necessary, win the Senate, and stop Donald Trump from putting people on the Supreme Court.
But you're assuming that the allegations from Professor Ford are part of a plot to stop.
What I'm saying is she's going to have a heering. The committee bent over backwards to give her a hearing.
Bending
it's okay
over
to schedule a vote the next day. It's okay to schedule a vote. Then they did. They
tried to force her to testify on Monday. Can you imagine?
Wait, but hold on a second. Just to keep the record clear, and because I don't understand this from 2 perspectives, Mike, and help me with this.
Okay.
I respect your take on it. One is, I think it's bad for Kavanaugh what you guys are doing. If he wasn't there, if he did nothing wrong, as he said in that friendly interview last night, then he should want all of the boxes checked so that nobody can speculate on him. The second thing is, you know that some of the digging on the corroboration that Ford offered up hasn't bore any fruit yet.
Right.
So why wouldn't you go down the path
because
of
we already
vetting
know
it
that.
So people can't say your lack of effort leads them to a conclusion?
Because for 2 reasons, Chris. One is, both of these accusers have now had every single reporter in the entire... Well, first of all, the first accuser came out. Dianne Feinstein did not decide to go to the FBI. She decided to make this public, which is different from Anita Hill.
We don't know that she had anything to do with making it public, but continue.
Oh, she received the letter, and somehow it became public, and somehow her name became public.
You want to be intellectually honest? We don't know what happened. Go ahead.
Which then 6, every Democratic lawyer and investigator on the Judiciary Committee on this, and every reporter in the country, and the only thing that they were able to come back with was a very weak second person who has had every single witness that she named say, this is not true and I know nothing about it. So what the point is, the Judiciary Committee has already seen all this stuff. They don't need to know any more information because it's obviously a smear and someone who is coming forward for political reasons. So they're going to give her a hearing.
That's an opinion, but it's not a fact. Angela, last word.
It is fascinating to me that Mike is saying the accuser is lying when there's no DNA evidence to exonerate him. There's no, I mean, you have nothing to base that on.
In this country, the burden of proof is on the accuser.
However,
when you're accused of something,
so Mike,
you are
I'm sorry
innocent
that you
until proven
somehow got
guilty,
the
and the
last
accuser
word,
has
but
to bring
this exactly
evidence.
is the problem with your party.
Works.
The fact that you think you deserve to speak over a woman when he just said, I have the last word, is exactly the reason why you
Angela,
all
you
will lose the midterm election.
So
all right.
Go for it. But he said I have the last word. That's the difference.
All right. You just had it, Angela.
Okay.
You got the last word. But look, I'll tell you what. This is a hard conversation. We don't really know what the standards are. We're figuring it out. I respect you guys. You disagree, but you disagree the right way, and I appreciate you for it. That's not a cliche. We need to reinforce it in the way the debate's going right now. Mike, Angela, thank you.
Thank you.